जाने समझे ज्ञान वास्तु शास्त्र का, पृथ्वी अग्नि जल वायु स्थान कहाँ आकाश का।
ओम वास्तु पुरुषाय नमो नमः।
खुद ही समझो खुद ही जानो, कहता है क्या भला।
So Mr. Gyani, after talking about store and stairs in southeast area, now let's talk about living room in southeast area. Tell us about it.
Okay, living room in southeast area.
Yeah.
Now, when you go in for designer homes, the designers, what they do is, maybe they'll give you a large living room. So maybe the line doesn't come here and the line comes here. Now this becomes your living room. And living rooms are supposed to be the biggest spaces in the homes. Living room is supposed to be bigger than the master bedroom also. And the second largest part in your house is the master bedroom. So the size of living room becomes largest than any other size of the room. There is a chance that the designer may give you a double height. So the first slab may not be there and the second slab will be part of the living room, and it becomes a double height.
Yeah.
So what we are talking about is volume in the southeast corner.
Okay.
Right. So when there's a volume in the southeast corner, what happens is the Jupiter shrinks.
Okay.
The size of the Jupiter goes down. Actually, when you measure the planets, you go to Google and ask the size of Jupiter and ask the size of Venus. So Jupiter is maybe 30, 40, 80, 100 times bigger than the size of the Venus. Venus is the second largest size from the bottom. So the smallest is Moon, then the Venus, and the largest is the Jupiter. Now what you have done here is, in this house, the size of the Venus is the biggest, so much.
Okay.
Right. That means Venus becomes the ruling planet of this house.
Okay.
Because the size of Jupiter has shrunk to this, and the size of Venus
has increased.
Has increased. Right. Now what does Venus do? What is Venus standing for? Venus stands for glamour.
Yeah.
It stands for grace, ambience, and women.
Women. Yeah.
So when you have a very big living room in the southeast corner, what happens is that women start coming in.
Okay.
Right. So this gentleman will have a lot of girlfriends.
Okay.
This gentleman will have a lot of extramarital affairs, and he is going to like the company of women.
Okay.
Right. So eventually, a lady who has asked for a very huge living room has indirectly asked for extramarital relations of her husband. Right. So this is not a good orientation, because your relationship with Venus is increased, and when your relationship with Venus is increased means you are going to wear the best of the watches, best of the belts, best of the shoes, branded clothes. Everything that is going to be yours is going to be glamorous.
Glamorous.
Now once you become glamorous, once you become branded, women are going to get attracted to you, and women will come and fall in your lap. Now you are going to like it at some point, even if you say no, 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 no. At some point you will say, okay, let me enter into a relationship. Okay. So basically, any lady who asks for a living room in the southeast corner with a double height and a huge volume, she is inviting problems for herself. So this is not a good orientation. However, such homes that have huge living rooms in the southeast corner are the most tidy homes.
Okay.
Because in this house, the ruling planet is Venus, and Venus means grace, glamour, and tidiness. So this house will be very tidy, and everything in the house will be kept at the right place. Okay. There are homes that are very untidy. In spite of the lady working very hard to keep it tidy, for somehow the other reason, those houses are not tidy. They don't look tidy. Okay. This home is going to look very, very tidy. Right. Now, there have been instances, because we do a lot of designing work,
Yeah.
Because when we talk about the science of home building, a lot of people come to us with plots and they say, please give us a design which is based on the science of home building, and we would like to have a house which according to the science of home building, because we want peace, progress and prosperity.
Yeah.
So we give them. But then there are cases where the lady will come and say, Mr. Gyani, I want a huge kitchen. So she is asking for such type of a kitchen,
Okay.
right? Because she says, I like to have a huge kitchen. I've got a lot of guests. I've got a lot of cooks and servants in my home, and they stand there in the kitchen, do something or the other. So I need a big kitchen. So we say, no, ma'am, we are not going to give you a big kitchen. We'll try to balance it out, and we'll give you a kitchen that is optimum size.
Okay.
But she says, no, I want a big kitchen. So we say, okay, ma'am, we are trying. We'll try to do something for you. And we give her some size of the kitchen, and she says, oh, this is too small. I don't like this kitchen. Please give me a big kitchen. Please give me a big kitchen. So in the end, then we tell her, madam, do you know what are you asking for? You are not asking for a big kitchen. You are asking for your husband to have extramarital
Marital
relations.
affairs.
How is that so? So we explained to her this concept,
Okay.
that when you ask for more size of volume of Venus, then eventually your husband will land up into a relationship outside the marriage.
Okay.
So she says, is that so? Give me a small kitchen. So the
Okay.
moment she understands that what she is asking for, immediately she will say, I go by your design and I want a small kitchen because I don't want my husband to have
Extramarital affairs.
Right? No women will like that.
Yeah.
So we have to explain to her, just because she is ignorant, so she is asking for it. But now that we have educated them, they will not ask for a big kitchen in the southeast corner. You know, you have to have a balanced Venus corner, a balanced southeast corner.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So now we were going to discuss about, what were you asking
Living
me?
room.
That's okay. That we finished that.
That we have done. We were talking about water tanks in southeast area.
Oh, water tanks in southeast
Yeah.
area. Supposingly, this is your plot, this is your lot. Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe you have a water tank here, or maybe here, or maybe here. So basically this is the southeast corner.
Yeah.
So whether you have an underground water tank or the over the ground water tank, or maybe a borehole in the southeast corner. So once you have a borehole or a underground or over the ground water tank or a septic tank or a soak pit in the southeast corner, again you have to go through the episode in which we discussed about toilets in the southeast corner.
Southeast corner.
So when we say toilets in the southeast corner, we are talking about water bodies in the southeast corner. And when we are talking about boreholes and water tanks and septic tank and soak pits in the southeast corner, we are talking about the same thing, because it is again water bodies in the southeast corner, water bodies in the fire corner. Right?
Yeah.
In underdeveloped countries, what we have seen is that people have small plots and they construct full on the plot, the whole construction on the plot. And for instance, by bad luck, if they have got their toilets in the fire corner, they have septic tank under the toilet. If they have got toilet in the fire corner, they have the septic tank soak pits under the toilet. So now you are adding two flaws, two distortions. Toilet in this southeast corner and soak pit or septic tank again in the fire corner. Now this is unpardonable. The married life is going to be disturbed, the finances are going to be disturbed, and people may not attempt suicide, but they will every day have a thought of committing suicide. They will never commit suicide, but that thought will be there. The very fact that the thought is there every day means his life is in a mess. Why will somebody think of suicide every day unless and until his life is in a mess? So what I'm saying is, double flaws, two distortions in the same corner will make your life pathetic, will make your life messy. So please do not have such things, because it's not about luck, it's all about the science of home building. It's not your bad luck. Your luck is good, but your orientation of the house is so bad that it does not allow your luck to promote you. Definitely. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Right? So tanks and boreholes, soak pits, septic tanks, water tanks, everything in the fire corner will affect your sex life, will have a delayed marriage, will have a delay in the child, conceiving a child, will affect your finances and affect your sexual life. So that is the implication of having water bodies in the fire corner.
Mr. Gyani, if we talk about the correction now, so how can we do it? Is there any alternative?
There is no correction for that thing, because what you can do is you have to take a copper vessel and you have to put some holy water into it and seal it with a copper plate. You have to braise it with a copper plate. That copper bowl has to be put holy water in that, and then put a plate on the lid of the mouth of the copper vessel, and then braise it, right? Once you do it, you have to then make a pit in the north of northeast corner and put that bowl in the north of northeast corner under the ground. And you are not supposed to do it on Tuesday, because you don't dig land on Tuesdays. Okay, so except Tuesdays you can do it whenever. Okay. But you have to do it in daylight. Once you put this water here, holy water here, you have to tell the holy water that please, please, please bless us so that the water bodies in here do not affect us, and the water that we have put in the water element, the holy water that we have put in the north of northeast corner, will balance all the collection of other water in and around our house, and will balance it and will lead us to progress, lead us to prosperity. You have to request this holy water to do so, and this is one. The other thing is, what you can do is, technically, believe me, what you're supposed to do is fill up this tank and make a new tank where it is supposed to be, right? But supposingly you have a tank here. I'll explain to you what you can do to minimize the ill effects of such a tank. Supposingly the tank is here like this. So what you're supposed to do is put a copper wire, or put a silver wire, copper wire of 6.25 mm diameter, solid wire, round bar, or 1 mm silver wire like this, in this shape, right? This is half round. It is like a moon, you know. Yeah. So you have to do it like this. Once you do this, then you can delete this part from your house without affecting negatively. And once you do this, you will feel some relief out of doing this. But even if you can do this and get some relief, nothing like it, you must do it. But actually, when you do it physically and put it in the right place, then you get the benefits of it. So there is something where we say that no news is good news. So no news is good news is one thing, good news is another thing. So why not have rather good news than having no news as good news, right? That's what my point is. So you spend this money, it is not an expense, it is an investment that you are doing. It is never an expenditure. It is always an investment that you are making.
Okay, so this is all done.
Yes, what next?
Now we would be talking about bedroom in southeast corner.
Okay, bedrooms in the southeast corner. Yeah. Now southeast corner is about fire, right? Now supposingly there are two children who are sleeping in the southeast corner. Now children are children, of course. Every time they are children, they are quarreling and fighting. But those children who sleep in the fire corner have a tendency to fight more, have a tendency to quarrel more. And if they do so, there's nothing wrong, because the bedroom that they have been given is the fire corner bedroom, and there is going to be a tendency of little more quarrels and little more fights. But I don't think that is a problem, because children in any case, the siblings are going to fight, and that is very natural and it is very universal. So there is nothing wrong about it. Because if a husband and wife are sleeping here, they will also have a tendency of quarreling more than me and my wife, or for other, I would say, like anyone. I mean, though I am a consultant on this, I also have quarrels with my wife. It is universal. I mean, it is nothing wrong about it. But in a fire corner, the quarrels will be more than normal, right?
Okay.
And because it is a fire corner, nothing wrong about it. But like in London, the homes are very small. In America, the homes may be big because there's excess land there. In Africa, the homes may be very big, but London, Japan, places like where the estate is very costly, the homes are like matchbox, very, very small homes. And when there are small homes, what happens is that because you have a 10 by 10 room, what happens is that if you have a wardrobe here, and this room is a 10-feet room, and a 10-feet room, your bed tends to go into this corner, right? Because you need, there's a 2-feet wardrobe, then you need space 2 feet, and then 6 feet bed. Now what happens is that this couple has entered more into the southeast corner, because this bed is touching the east wall and the bed is touching the south wall. So the couple has entered, gone into deep into the fire corner, and as a result they are going to fight a lot because they are there deep into this corner. What they can do is, every night, once they have used this, once they have their nightgowns outside and they've worn those nightgowns, then at whole night they are not going to use this cupboard. So they should have 4 wheels on this bed, and every night they should pull their bed and bring it here like this, so that they come out of that deep fire corner and at least they are saved from some fire energy which was there deep into it. So,
but Mr. Gyani, don't you think it would be little difficult, in fact rather very difficult, to pull the bed daily?
That's why I said, first of all you have to put 4 wheels on this, so that it is very easy for a very thin skinny lady also to just pull it, and it is easy, and then push it again, you know.
Okay, yeah.
So that's why I said you have to put 4 wheels on this, maybe 6 wheels, if you're heavy, so that you can pull it, right? Okay, so this is it. What you can also do is, maybe you can put a curtain from here to here and a curtain from here to here. If you put these 2 curtains, even then you are saved. Make sure that if your bedroom is like this and you're more into fire corner and you have a tendency to quarrel more, to fight more, then make sure that the paint of your room is very, very light, very, very light. You know, it is very important to have a very soothing color into such a room, because if you have a tendency to fight more, because these soothing colors will help you keep your temperament low, right? Because colors also do have an impact on your lifestyle, on your thought processes, on your moods. So if you have a very dark color here, very fiery color here, very bright color here, then your temperament may be very hectic, and you might end up quarreling more. So if there's such a thing, you can go for a very light color in this room also. Now, if you remember, my friends, I had said that all those people who sleep in the water element, that is in the northeast corner here, will not bear a child. If you remember, I had said that most of the people who do not conceive children are those people who have lived in the northeast room or have started their married life in the northeast room, either with their heads in the north or with their heads in the east. Now, because they are in a water element, they cannot conceive a child, because conceiving child is the job of fire, and maturing the child in the womb is also a job of fire.
आओ जाने समझे ज्ञान वास्तु शास्त्र का, पृथ्वी अग्नि